Still got water and gas. A lot of these places, unfortunately, but this whole rose is a bad example of what fire can do.
A man stood at his front door in Spokane yesterday and watched a fire truck slow down, film his house, and drive away. He had a fire main right there, the water was there, the infrastructure was there, no one to use it. That truck was already assigned somewhere else because there are 99 fires and only so many trucks. This is August 3rd, 2026, and this is not a weather forecast. This is what happens when fire season becomes a national emergency. So let's get into it. The stories behind the numbers, the people behind the structures, and what comes next for the western United States. We are going to start with a man whose neighbor lost a home and another man whose neighbor's home was saved by a dance in the sky. He stood on his property and watched helicopters and air tankers work in coordinated rotation above him, water drops timed, retardant runs precise. He called it a dance in the sky, multiple helicopters timed on water drops, planes rotating through retardant passes, a fire chief going door to door. A fire truck staged on his property kept watch. The aerial attack held the flames 150 to 200 yards from his front door. His house was saved, but the neighbor above him, who had recently bought a home from the late Charlie Morrison and his family lost everything, two properties side by side, one saved, one gone. That is the random, brutal arithmetic of a wildfire moving through a neighborhood. And then there is the other story, a homeowner who walked up to a reporter and said something that will stay with you. He had a fire main right out front. The infrastructure was there, but there was no crew available to use it. A fire truck drove by, slowed down, and left because there were too many fires and not enough crews, and every resource was already committed somewhere else. That is not a failure of the firefighters who were there. It is a consequence of 99 large fires burning simultaneously across one country. When the system is stretched this thin, some people get the dance in the sky and some people stand at their door watching the truck drive away. The Spokane area fires Old Trails, Fairview, and Autumn Lane are now under the command of California's top incident management team, KEMT 15. President Biden approved FEMA disaster grants for Spokane and for the Sinlahekin Fire yesterday afternoon. Federal recovery resources are now flowing. 100 Washington National Guard members are on the ground helping with traffic control, emergency management, and community support. Avista crews are surveying neighborhoods behind Fairmount Memorial Park today. Damage assessment, grid planning, beginning the long road to power restoration. If you lost your home or were displaced, call 1-800-733-2767. The American Red Cross Disaster Relief Line available around the clock. To help your neighbors who lost everything, the Spokane Complex Wildfire Emergency Relief Fund is accepting donations at goinovia.org. ECHA Spokane Complex Wildfire. Now let's talk about the three fires that make up the Spokane Complex because they are very different situations this morning. The Old Trails Fire, the one that destroyed 400 confirmed structures, started human-caused in Spokane County Fire District 10. It crossed the Spokane River, drove toward 5 Mile, and was stopped west of 5 Mile Road and south of Strong Road by firefighters. Still 0% contained, but the forward push was slowed significantly by crews who held the line through extraordinary conditions Saturday night. The Fairview Fire near Meade 981 acres brought genuinely good news. Yesterday afternoon, forward progression was stopped at noon on August 2nd. Crews are now strengthening containment lines and mopping up hotspots. The Fairview is the one fire in this complex that is moving in the right direction. The Autumn Lane Fire near 9 Mile Falls, 792 acres, is 0% contained. This one is the most urgent situation in the complex right now. It is burning on both sides of the river simultaneously with wind-driven runs. Spotting and torching aviation assets are flying all day. If you are near the Autumn Lane Fire, no drones, period. Every drone in that airspace grounds the aircraft that are working to protect people's homes. Now let's talk about the fire that doubled in size yesterday afternoon and did not get the attention it deserved. The Sinlahekin Fire. Yesterday morning, the Sinlahekin was at roughly 36,000 acres in Okanogan County, already enormous, already dangerous, already 0% contained. By yesterday afternoon, it had more than doubled 74,000 acres, 0% contained, embers flying more than a mile ahead of the main front. A mile of spotting, that means the fire is essentially jumping forward, igniting new fires ahead of itself, then connecting back to the main front. Level 3 Go Now covers all areas west of the Okanogan River to Oroville, including Palmer Mountain. Leave immediately if you are there. In Utah, the Widemouth 2 fire continues to be the most operationally challenging fire in the country. The official language from the management team has not changed. No amount of resources will stop this forward progression. That statement is still in effect, and the fire is still expanding into unmapped territory. Dense smoke over the fire has made accurate mapping Nearly Impossible crews are conducting aerial reconnaissance this morning to understand what they are dealing with. Here's what matters most for people in that area. No structures have been lost yet, despite the catastrophic fire behavior. Crews worked through the night to keep the fire away from buildings, and as of this morning, that effort is still holding. But if you are east of the I-15 between Fillmore and Kanosh, Utah, please leave before you feel like you need to. Do not wait! In Idaho, the Big Rock Fire crossed containment lines at midnight, and a new area of Madison County woke up to evacuation orders this morning. 30-plus homes are now directly threatened. Kelly Canyon Resort is in the threat zone, and the fire spokeswoman said it best this morning. Right now, they're just trying to catch up. Those words describe exactly what it feels like to fight a fire under these weather conditions. Shelter for Big Rock evacuees is at South Fork Elementary in Rexburg. Free food, water, recovery support, and a place to figure out what comes next. In Oregon, there is some genuine improvement to report. The Rogue Creek complex near Fossil is at 55% containment this morning. Fire jumped containment lines at Tompkins Pass during Saturday's extreme wind event, but the damage was limited, and today's calmer weather gives crews a real window. Winds at 5 to 7 miles per hour at Rogue Creek today. Temperatures in the 80s, the best working conditions crews have seen all week. The Round Butte fire near Madras has improved to 7% containment. Crews mopped up and secured lines yesterday, a small but meaningful step forward. Now let's zoom out to the national picture because the scale of what is happening across the western United States right now is extraordinary. 99 large fires, 27,934 firefighters, 5.2 million acres burned in 2026 alone, and it is only the first week of August. Those are not just numbers. Every one of those 27,934 people is working 14-hour shifts, sleeping in base camps, and going back out tomorrow. The ash that fell in Boise came from the same neighborhood where someone stood at their door and watched the fire truck drive away. That is the connection. The fire is local and it is national, and it is reaching into places that have never felt it before. Now let's talk about what this week looks like, because the next few days will determine whether these fires get a chance to be contained. Today and tomorrow represent the best weather window of the entire week for firefighters. Winds easing, humidity slightly recovering. Eastern Washington sees winds of 15 to 20 miles per hour today, humidity recovering to 15 to 25%, the first real working window since Friday. Spokane today reaches 80 to 85 degrees under dense smoke conditions or better, but air quality remains dangerous across the entire metro area. Montana remains the most dangerous fire weather state today, gusts up to 50 miles per hour near the Continental Divide, humidity at 10 to 20%. Dry lightning is possible today over western Montana and northern Idaho, a 30 to 40% chance of thunderstorms that produce lightning but no rainfall. Dry lightning with these fuel conditions means every strike is a potential new incident. Fire managers have initial attack teams on standby across Montana today. By Tuesday, the heat ridge, that's the high-pressure dome that bakes the west and blocks incoming moisture, begins to rebuild over the Great Basin. When that happens, temperatures across California, Nevada, and Utah ramp back up, and the brief improvement window that firefighters have today starts to close. Now, here's the situation I need you to understand about the extended forecast, and I want to be completely honest about the uncertainty. A second weather system is being tracked for around August 5th and 6th, and the models are not in agreement on what it does. Yesterday's GFS model run showed something completely different from this morning's output. This is genuine atmospheric uncertainty, not just modeling noise. Best case, the system stays offshore, wind impacts on fire zones are minimal, and firefighters keep the working window through the end of the week. Middle case, another dry cold front similar to Saturday, arriving with strong winds and zero rain, disrupting every containment line being rebuilt right now. Worst case, a stronger event than Saturday, arriving while the Sinlahekin at 74,000 acres and the Spokane complex are still uncontained. We will know significantly more by tomorrow morning, and I will have a dedicated update the moment that picture sharpens. There is no meaningful rainfall forecast for Pacific Northwest fire zones in the next 7 days. Oregon, Washington, and Idaho are all dry. The NIFC outlook through September shows above normal fire risk across the entire Pacific Northwest and Northern Rockies. This season is not ending soon. One piece of genuinely encouraging news: Minnesota's Superior National Forest fires have a 40 to 50% rainfall chance this week. Before we close, if you are in Spokane this morning and you need help, here is where to go. Red Cross Shelter Finder is at redcross.org or call 1-800-733-2767 for disaster relief, shelter, and recovery support around the clock. Okanogan County Sinlahekin Fire, Level 3, go now west of the Okanogan River, including Palmer Mountain. Follow Okanogan County Sheriff for updates. East of the I-15 from Fillmore to Kanosh, Utah, if you feel any concern at all, leave before you feel like you have to. Idaho, Big Rock Fire, Kelly Canyon area is now in the threat zone shelter at South Fork Elementary, Rexburg, all services free of charge. Do not fly drones near any active fire at grounds aircraft that are actively protecting people's homes and lives. Daily updates are coming as the August 5th system comes into focus. Turn notifications on so you get them the moment they post. Like and subscribe. And if this information was useful to someone, who is in one of these areas, please share it with them. For the homeowner who called it a dance in the sky, we hope you are safe tonight and that the dance keeps working in your favor. For the man at the door watching the truck drive away, we see you and we are sorry. And the resources are coming. For the 27,934 firefighters working these fires today, for the crews who held 5 Mile Road while the city burned behind them. For the aviation teams who kept that fire 150 yards from someone's front door, thank you. Does not cover it, but thank you. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe out there. Take care of each other.